Invincible has a tag fighter now. And because of that, we gotta build a roster. Spoilers for anybody that have not seen Invincible or finished it. I apologize. Hold that shit forever. Bart, Omni-Man, Dula, Eve, Bulletproof, and Rex. That is our base roster so far. All right, let's build out this base. To start, Allan. Allan is in this game. There is no Invincible game without Allan. It would be dumb if Allan was not in this game. Allan plays a pivotal role in Invincible story. I won't spoil anything, but he will continue to play a pivotal role in Invincible story. This character is too big, and on top of that, he's extremely popular. Allan is funny as hell. He's a really cool character. He would be another super big body that can fly and do the Superman stuff, but you gotta put him in. I think they can make him interesting though. As much as I don't want to do it, you gotta put her goofy ass in the game. I personally don't care for this character at all. I actually don't like her really, but she gotta get in the game. She's a guardian of the globe. She gotta be in the game. Not gonna lie, you put Tech Jacket in. A lot of people that are just like show exclusive don't know much about Tech Jacket. Spoiler alert, he shows up briefly fighting one of the Invincible variants in space. Just a preface for a lot of people, he's also in the comics, like further on. He is one of the strongest heroes on Earth. And he also plays a pivotal role in the future of Invincible story. Tech Jacket's a big deal, and he's extremely strong. I think Red Rush being in this game would be really cool. Red Rush is one of the Guardians of the Globe I think would be a really cool character to implement, and he's a very unique character because he is the only one with super speed, which I think super speed as a superpower is a really interesting concept to add to a fighting game. So I think Red Rush gets in off that alone. Why not add her? I personally like Warwoman, even though Warwoman shows up literally one episode. I do like the concept of her. She's just Wonder Woman. She is just Wonder Woman, but I like it. So I think because she's a guardian, the original Guardians of the Globe, and she's one of the unique, cooler characters, in my opinion, of the Guardians of the Globe, you add her, you put her in. I'm gonna say it, Shapesmith gets in. There's people that are not gonna be happy about that. Or potentially happy, I don't know. I actually don't know how people feel about this character. Honestly, I think people would like Shapesmith more than the original Martian. I could very well be wrong, but that's how I think. That's what I think it is at the moment. I think he's just more popular. Plus, he's interesting. He can shapeshift, which I think in a fighting game setting would be pretty cool to see. Battle Beast. You gotta get people in the door. To sell this game, you gotta put Battle Beast in. Battle Beast gotta be base. I personally feel like it's a throw pick if you do not put him base. Battle Beast is easily one of the coolest characters in Invincible, one of the most interesting ones, so much so that he got his own comic series. You gotta put this character in. He is made to fight. Mauler twins get in. I think they get in as one character. I think you make a one character. Don't let them just be a brawler. They're smart as shit. Let them use like weapons and really crazy stuff, because they're shown in the show to use weapons and use like technology as a weapon. So I think having them in the game as one, it's one way to add another unique character to the game that isn't just Superman function. So I think the Mauler twins work as their own character. Immortal has to be in the game. Unfortunately, we have to have another Superman function. He plays a pivotal role in the story. It's the only reason he would get in. If it was up to me, because there's too many Superman-like characters in this game, if it was up to me, some of these characters, I don't think Immortal makes it. I don't even think Bulletproof makes it, to be real. But you got to, even though there's Superman functions, you got to. I forget his name. Oh my God. I don't remember his name. Powerplex. Oh my God. I can't believe I forgot his name. Powerplex would get in. I think he's a unique enough character where he could really work as a fighting game character. Like the more damage he takes, the stronger he gets. I think that entire concept is really cool. I think you put him in the game, he can work. And he has electricity. His powers is very unique from anybody else in the roster. I think as a character, he can work very well in a fighting game. Darkwing gets in. Not original Darkwing, new Darkwing. I think new Darkwing gets in. I think Batman in a fighting game works fine. And I think that he would work well as Batman in this game too. On top of that, his powers are unique. He's very unique. He can like shift through dimensions from like the dark dimension to normal world dimension. So I think he'd be like a teleport character with like gadgets and shit like that. So I think he could work. I think he could work, no problem. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is hard. This is hard because we gotta make DLC. Oh, I almost forgot about her. Monster Girl has to be in. Even though she's a big body, not only she plays a pivotal role in the story, the concept is interesting, but at the end of the day, she still is just a big body brawler. But she just be the biggest of body brawlers. Yeah, you gotta put Monster Girl in the game. Doc Seismic gets in. I think Doc Seismic gets in, no problem. I think he's an interesting character, interesting concept, I'll say that. He's an interesting concept for a fighting game character. Doc Seismic would be pretty cool to see in a fighting game, especially in this game. You gotta put Baby Girl in. I think as a concept, she's a very interesting character. I will say this, they have to balance her properly because she could easily be the most broken character in the game if not handled properly. If you had never seen Adam in Injustice 2, that character is dumb as hell. I don't know what they were thinking when making that character. I'm not gonna lie to you. If they do make her a character in the game, they have to balance that character properly. Because if they don't, Lord help them. I do think she's unique enough to get in, and she also plays a pretty decent sized role in the game, in the show. But balance her properly. You gotta like be careful with this character because you could easily make her broken. I'ma say it. You make Cecil a character. I think Cecil works. Hear me out. He doesn't necessarily fight himself. He uses the super soldiers, the dead super soldiers, as like attacks, basically using the government's experiments and things like that as weapons. He can teleport, things like that. I think you put Cecil in the game. I think Cecil can work as a unique character, as like a Lex Luthor kind of character where like he doesn't fight, he uses other things to fight. Like he's a keep away character that like throws shit at you and you gotta deal with like the super soldier, the dead super soldiers and things like that. He constantly pressing buttons and things like that on his thing. Like I think he works. DLC though, I'm gonna be real with you. Actually, I think Angstrom makes it base. I don't think there's a world where Angstrom doesn't make it base at this point. This game is missing a big villain outside of Omni-Man, obviously. I think Angstrom would be like the big villain of the game. I think you need that. So I think Angstrom works. But DLC, going back to it, who else they would add? They would add like comment. Actually, I almost forgot. That is not just DLC. There's more. This game is going to have guest characters, and those guest characters 9 times out of 10 will be Fulgore and Scorpion. I think if they're going to do guest characters, they're probably going to pull from Killer Instinct because this is the KI devs. They would get Fulgore, they would put him in as a guest character. And I also think an MK character, because of the gore of the game, I think an MK character has a high chance of getting in, and they would probably use Scorpion or Sub-Zero. But Anissa, Oliver, and Conquest, and Thrag, I think you make those characters DLC. I think Oliver is a popular enough character where he can work on his own as DLC. I think people would pay for Oliver. Same goes for Anissa and Conquest. I think those characters are, I think Anissa and Conquest specifically are too popular to be base, honestly. And that sounds crazy. The way DLC characters work, there is a popularity scale where like you're not that popular, you're popular, like really popular, and then you're too popular. Once you pass that scale of being too popular, you have to more than likely be DLC because that is where they're going to make most of their money. That is the unfortunate reality of characters and how the industry works. When you're that popular, they're going to try to make the most money off of you. Anissa, Thrag, Conquest, and Oliver would be DLC. And I think the guest characters they add to the game is Fulgore and Scorpion. And there you go. That is my base roster and that is my DLC for the game. I have no idea who else they would add DLC wise. I'm gonna be real. None of these characters, with the exception of probably him is interesting enough to be their own character in the game. Maybe her. Outside of that, I'm gonna be real, there's a lot of characters in Invincible that's don't hold that much weight, and I don't see being that interesting in a fighting game. I could very well be wrong though. If I had to build a roster for this game, I think this is the roster. I think this is the final roster for Invincible Versus, and I think this is the DLC for Invincible Versus. That is the base. That is the base roster.